Hello and welcome back to yet another video in a continued journey of trying to master, not trying anymore. I think we've done a lot of work already, so there should be some amount of skill in place already. DILR, and our today's agenda is going to be another CAT set, and again the focus is on Venn diagrams. So we have done so we have already done one particular set on Venn diagrams, and we learned there that how on the surface it might look like a Venn diagram or a set theory problem, but after the very basic introduction, the very basic terms, it was more of an equations game and trying to play with basic algebra or linear algebra rather than anything to do with the set theory as such. The same idea, the same journey will be repeated here. Of course, you have to know the basic three set scenario, the formulas, the connection, all the elements in the diagram, which we'll cover anyway. But beyond that, it's not a set theory problem, it's a logical thinking problem. It's a try your cases, test your scenarios, not get an answer through the equation but by plugging in value, etc. etc. So of course we'll solve the problem, but remember our focus is also on something known as metacognition in terms of what is happening in our thought process or in the problem as such, right? So it's important for us to understand that the problem is not necessarily in set theory. The problem is the same problem as usual of keeping a lot of information in our mind, making a lot of small deductions, and all the processes that we have already seen so far. So I hope you tried out the set, tried it out a couple of times, spend time with it. So at least you are familiar with the very basic story as I start, and I don't have to slow down too much there. And struggling with it is okay. That is also definitely a difficult level set. I think in that particular, it was one of the more difficult sets. The top two difficult sets, it would definitely fit in, right? So it's okay to struggle, not a problem. But we learn from it. We see, okay, it wasn't that big a deal. That should always be our goal, because that's what we want to train our mind to do. That yes, it is doable. Sometimes I get stuck. That is fine. But I'm figuring out what is the approach and the mindset required to tackle with such problems. So try the problem out and join me in the discussion. So let's start with the problem. I know there are a total of 1600 satellites, and the categories of satellite are broadcast, communication, surveillance, and one more is O, which is others. So 1600 satellites belonging to B, C, S or O. Then it says a satellite can serve multiple purposes. That means a satellite could belong to this set as well as this set as well as that set, etc. That means there's going to be an overlap in the Venn diagrams. A satellite can serve multiple purposes. However, satellites serving either B or C or S do not serve O. That means any of the satellites belonging to this or this will not be present in O. So if I think of the Venn diagram involved, and I'm sure you have done the basic work for yourself, you will see that B, C, S may overlap with each other, but O is a separate set altogether, completely segregated from B, C and S. So if I notice this first piece of information, because in the beginning on the surface somebody will look at this and say, okay, I require a 4 Venn diagram scenario, but this very first statement tells me that okay, no, it's not a 4 diagram story. It's the majority of the story is still happening with only 3 diagrams, and there is a separate Venn diagram. So it has kind of made my journey easier compared to dealing with 4 Venn diagrams, right? Or 4 sets in a Venn diagram story. Now, in all the exams so far, I have not really seen an actual 4 set story. It always reduces down to 3 set or focusing on any 2 particular sets. So, and the tools required are exactly the same. We can look at a couple of problems later specifically on 4 Venn diagrams, but I don't think it's needed. Your basic theory will suffice. So this is my story so far. Next piece of the story says the number of satellites serving B, C and S, though may not be exclusively, are in the ratio 2:1:1. So 2:1:1. Obviously this is not a real value for me, so just for clarity, 2k, 1k and 1k. That also tells me that the overall C set is equal to the overall S set, and both of them are half of the other set. The next part was the number of satellites serving all three of B, C and S is 100. That means this region is given as 100. Great. The next part said the number of satellites exclusively serving C is the same as the number of satellites exclusively serving S. Exclusively serving C is this particular region, only C, right? So let me call it, let's say A for a second. And he's saying this region is the same as exclusively S region. That means this particular region. That means this is also equal to A so far, from what I have read so far. And this number is 30% of the number of satellites exclusively serving B. So exclusively serving B, this number is 30% of that. So it will make more sense if I actually call this A and call this 0.3A. I don't know what this value is, but I know this is 30% of this, and these two are also equal to each other. One more piece of information, the number of satellites serving O. So let me put up a variable here also. Don't get stressed by too many variables. We know they will merge together and we'll find connections between them later. But just capturing the story, the number of satellites working exclusively for O are the same as the number of satellites serving both C and S but not B. Both C and S but not B. That means this particular region. So that means this is also going to be X. So now I pay further attention to the part that this set and this set C and S are equal to each other. And this might require a little bit of work. That means this region, let me call it Y for a second, is the same as this region. Why? This whole set was 1K, right? So from 1K, if you remove 100, if you remove X, if you remove 0.3A, you will be left with Y. You can capture this in an equation, but you don't need it. This is just for understanding that why these two are equal. So if you can answer this question for yourself, you can just skip maybe 10 seconds. So from 1K, if I remove this, this and this, I get Y if I observe one set. And if I look at it again, this is the same 1K. From 1K, I remove 100X and 0.3A. That means I will get the same value. That means these two are equal to each other. So take your time and make sense of this part of the story as well. So we have captured the major so we have captured all the information given to us. We have given names to various regions. Obviously, I am assuming that you know what these regions are. That has been covered in basic set theory videos, not only in our course but everywhere else, right? So, and you are saying you're preparing for like the toughest exam in the world. So I'm assuming you know this already. This is not going to be too much of a problem. So we are in a good place. We have the right labels and everything. Now let me look at what else do I know. I know the total number of satellites is 1600. So let me try and calculate the total number of satellites, right? And capture this information. In fact, work it out. Don't watch the solution. I'm giving you the next step. Do it by yourself, right? So I'm adding all of these up step by step. So I have an A, then I have a Y. I will sort this out later. So A, then Y, then I have a 0.3A, then I have a X, then I have a 100, then I have another Y, right? This one. So this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. Then I have another 0.3A. So this whole diagram is done. I'm focusing on all the individual components because I know they all add up to 1600. And there was another X outside, right? So all of this put together is equal to 1600. So I don't have enough space on the board, but you write the straight line equation. A plus Y plus 0.3A plus X plus 100 plus Y plus 0.3A plus X is equal, X we had already covered, and the second X, right, is equal to 1600. So capture this information because I'm going to now maybe get rid of the diagram for a second and focus on the equations. So I've done that. I've converted it into a smaller equation. That was the easy part. There is an A, a 0.3A and a 0.3A, so a 1.6. There were two Y's, so two Y's. There were two X's, so two X's, and 100 subtracted from 1600, so you get an overall 1500. So mark this as your equation 1 and keep it somewhere. Make big equations in the beginning so that you can clearly see what is happening, right? When I say big equation, I mean make the text bigger for your brain to easily understand it. So that was one part of the story. And now let me go to that second piece of information. Let me quickly draw the diagram again. Remember, in your notebook, you don't have to delete the diagram, so it will always be there, or your rough paper work, right? So I had this story, and it was also given to me that this is 2k, this is 1k, and this is also 1k. And I had given them further labels: a, 0.3a, 0.3a, x, 100, and y. So let's work with this information that this particular set is twice the size of this particular set. So let me capture what this set is. It is going to be a plus 2y plus 100. So this is the 2k part, this one. I know this is twice the other set, this one. So this is going to be twice the other set, which is going to be 0.3a plus x plus y plus 100. Work with this equation now. A plus 2y plus 100 is equal to, this is going to be 2 into 0.3, that means 0.6a plus 2x plus 2y plus 200. So if I look at this equation now, this 2y is definitely getting cancelled. And if I move this a here, I will get 0.4a is equal to, I will move this 100 there, this 0.6 is gone, move this 100 there, I will get 2x plus 100. Make your life easier at this point, and instead of that 0.4, can I think of it as a 2 by 5? That means if I multiply this by 5, all my decimal problems will be gone. So that's what I will do. I will multiply both sides by 5. So this part will be gone. I'll be left with a 2a. And if I multiply this by 5, this will become 10x and this will become 500. Now I can simplify it further. Remove 2 from everywhere. A is equal to 5x plus 250. So we have two very major equations, and if you look at the difficulty level, I mean, there is a perceptual difficulty and the fear factor. If you remove that, we haven't done too much work. Yes, it was equation intensive work maybe, but it was just adding up all of these values, day one kind of set theory. I'm not getting the answer right now, but I have captured whatever information I could have. And I hope you have captured this particular information, this particular equation and this particular equation, and understood how it has come about. Because now we'll only use this and whatever other information is given in the question to figure out the relationship. And if I look at the questions themselves, they are giving me a range. So I know I will not get fixed answer. These equations are going to tell me that what are the limitations and possibilities, which we will do next. So I'm going to wipe this clean now. Again, keep this equation and this equation in mind. So I've done that. I have this equation and this equation. Now I can start playing with the equation. I'm not looking at set theory anymore. Basic linear algebra work, right? So instead of this a, can I put this value very conveniently? So I will get 1.6, and this is the kind of work that you should be able to do on your own anyway. So instead of a, I will say, okay, 5x plus 250. Then I have a 2y plus 2x, and that is equal to 1500. Basic replacement, right? Open this up and you will get 8x. Multiply 1.6 into 250. 1 into 250 is 250. 6 into 250. 6 2s are 12 or 1200. So 1200 and 650s are 300. So 1200 plus 300, 1500. But there was a decimal, so remove that, you will get a 150. So 250 plus 150 is equal to 300, 400. So 8x plus 400 plus 2y plus 2x is equal to 1500. Can I simplify this further? I will get 10x plus 2y is equal to, if I move this here, I will get 1100. And if I now take out a 2 common, I will get 5x plus y is equal to 550. Now, this is where your now maximum minima journey or analysis of the equation starts, because so far we were just building the equation. Now I have reached a final connection between x and y. So just a reminder of your diagram once again. You had a, 0.3a, 0.3a, you had 100 here, you were calling this x, you're calling this y, and you were calling this y as well. So you have a relationship between y and x. Finally you've got a connection between y and x. So we have enough data. Now let's get back to the diagram, because now I can't do anything anymore. Whatever, depending on the question, like question will help me hone my thought, what do I have to think about, and I have these equations or some data in mind, I'll use that and figure stuff out. So I've captured my key equations, and let me take a look at my diagram again. Now I'm moving towards the questions, and questions will tell me what to do. I've already have all the names, a, 0.3a, 0.3a, this was 100, this is x, this is y, this is y, and there is another set called O, which is also equal to x as and when needed. And our first question was, what can be said about the number of satellites serving C? So first of all, just look at the number of total satellites serving C. So you will see the total number is going to be 0.3a plus y plus x plus 100. This is what I can say about the total number of satellites serving C. And then there are options given, and the question was what best can be said. So actually all of them work, but then it wasn't which one is true, which one is the best description of the story. So let me try and bring it all in terms of x, and let's see what happens. I have a in terms of x, so let me put this here. So 0.3 into 5x will give you 1.5x or 1.5x. 0.3 into 250 will give you 750, but there is a decimal, that means a total of 75. Instead of y, I can write 550 plus 550 minus 5x, and then I have an x, and then I have 100. So once again, this is what I can say about my total number of satellites serving C. So let me add them up all together. 550 plus 100 will give me 650. 650 plus 75, 725. So the total is going to be 725. And if I add up all the x's, I will get a minus 5x and a x, which will give me minus 4x. And from that I will subtract 1.5x, which is positive. So I'll be left with minus 2.5x. So this is my final result for how many satellites can be under C. And the moment I look at this equation and now I start thinking about maximum possible values or minimum possible values, I'm finally getting to the answer. If I want to maximize this, because there is a negative here, I should try and minimize this. This can be minimized when x is equal to 0, when this particular sector is 0. There is no condition saying that this cannot be 0 so far. So far I have not seen any rule saying that somebody has to be there. If this is 0, it would mean this is also 0, but again there is no condition given that this is not 0 and there has to be a satellite under O. This is extra discussion, but I hope the idea is very clear after all the equation work. I reached an equation like this and I saw, okay, if I want to make this is equal to C. If I want to maximize this, I will make it 0. So my maximum value possible will be definitely 725. Right? So we've got the maximum value. Now for a second, bring your attention to this equation. If I say y, I am just rewriting this. Y is equal to 550 minus 5x. Can y be negative? We are talking about actual number of satellites. So my only constraint is it can be 0, but it cannot be negative. That means if I try and maximize the value of x, why am I using this equation? Because now my thought was I made it 0, but now I am going to go higher and higher and see what works. But what is the limitation? I have one more condition telling me that, say for example, if I put 100 here, I will get 550 minus 500, y will still be 50. But if I put 110 there, I will get 550 minus 550, y will be 0. But if I make it 111, y will become negative, right? Will become less than 0. That means my limit for x is definitely going to be 110. Let me try and put that value here. 2.5 into 110. So my equation was 725 minus 2.5 into 110. 2.5 into 100 is going to give you 250. 2.5 into 10 is going to give you 25. So 275. So 725 minus 200 is going to give you 500, and 500 minus 75 is going to give you 425. So if I look at what is the minimum possible value for the satellite serving C, the answer is going to be 425. And so we are done, and I mean we've got at least one question here. So, and I've gone very slow, mostly to build comfort that okay, there is no set theory challenge here. The set theory story was very easy, very straightforward. Again, assuming that the fear factor, the trauma, the already like almost a defeatist attitude is not there, in that case this particular story was easy. Then I played with equations, and then I finally came to okay, what is the value of C, right? So again, this is definitely not a beginner's level set. This is definitely not for people who struggle with maths and DILR. This is definitely the toughest set in the exam, in that particular section or in that particular exam. And this is for people who are very comfortable with such games, because eventually running this will take no time. But right now I can almost hear your thoughts, okay, I will make halfway, but how will I know to do this or do that? That happens simply out of exposure, because this is not the first time in the course as such, not only DILR but also mathematics, this is not the first time we are looking at an equation like this. This is not the first time we are playing with equations like this, right? So do not label the challenge as okay, this is Venn diagram or this is set theory, what is the extra theory needed for this kind of a challenge? No, nothing extra needed, mostly common sense, almost a linear level equation, not even a quadratic equation, right? So work with that and you have your answer, right? I hope this much made sense. Otherwise, stop and rewind and watch it again. This time watch it at 1.5x, just to understand that okay, the discussion I've gone very slowly, but the overall solution is maybe 12-15 steps in, and we have seen bigger problems than that already. So should not be too much of a challenge. Okay, I might have made a mistake here. Please do check for yourself. 2.5 into 110. Let's calculate that again. 2.5 into 100 will give me 250. And 2.5 into 10 will give me 25. So 275. 725 minus 275, just to be sure. So this will give me 0. 12 minus 7 will give me 5, and 6 minus 2 will give me 4. So my final answer should be 450. Don't get stuck with my mistakes. Focus on the process as such. I kind of tend to ignore the calculation part. So my minimum is going to be 450 and my maximum is going to be 725. Why and how we have already looked at enough. Once you have put in this work, the next question is easier still. What can be said about the number of satellites serving exclusively B? That means we are talking about this number A. I have the equation already. A is equal to 5x plus 250. Write it again in big somewhere, 5x plus 250, because now I'm going to play with it. Once again, the question is about minima and maxima. If you want to minimize this value, you want to keep this as small as possible. What is the smallest I can go to? I can go up to 0. I saw earlier there was no problem in that. That means this part will become 0 and this 250 will definitely still be there. So what can be said about the number of satellites, or what is the minimum number of satellites serving B exclusively? My answer would be definitely 250. Still keeping the same equations in mind, the next question was that if the minimum number of satellites serving O is at least 100, that means this x is definitely greater than equal to 100. We know about the number of satellites serving O is the same as the number of satellites serving both C and S. That means the number here. So I know this number now again is the same as before, is going to be at least 100. That means 100 or more than 100. And the question is about what can be said about the number of satellites serving S. I know C and S are equal to each other. I had already worked out C. C was equal to 725 minus 2.5x. That means the same equation as before and the same game as before, maxima or maximum or minimum analysis of a simple equation. If I want to, again, even if you haven't learned maximum minima, you can learn it now. You're just playing with this equation. You want to increase the value. there is a subtraction. That means if you make it smaller, the overall value will be bigger. How small can I go now? I'm playing with this equation. How small can I go? Earlier in the previous question, we went up to 0, but now the story tells me that it is going to be a minimum of 100. So if I plug it in here, that means if I plug in the value of 100, I will get 725 minus 250. So 725 Hey Siri, what is 725 minus 250?
725 minus 250 is 475.
I will get 475. So if I am trying to maximize it, I can go up to 475. How can I maximize it? By making this part as small as possible. But this time I can't go to 0 because another extra part of story said it has to be 100. So 725 minus 250 gives me 475. Now if I think of minimizing it, I want to make it as big as possible, and I already saw I cannot go bigger than 110 because then this condition got broken. That means instead of and that also we have already figured out actually the number, but let's do that again. 2.5 into 110. So 725 once again minus 275, your answer will be 450. So your max this time for the number of satellites serving S in this with this condition is going to be 475, and the minimum is going to be 450. Choose the best answer from the options with this information in mind. So notice once again, once you had this one equation in place, the questions are falling like dominoes, right? But the challenge is to get through there fearlessly. My contention is that half the people are just traumatized by news from other people. Oh, DILR is very, very tough and whatnot. So when they look at it, half the time the brain is not even working because they're already like scared and defeated. If you are defeated, you are defeated. If you are victorious in the mind, then you are victorious in the mind. So make sure that you do basic work and don't get intimidated in the beginning, right? So that's it for this set. I'm leaving this one last question up to you. There is enough work to, for help. There is enough work already done. I don't think should be too much of a challenge. So this is it for this mini. I don't know whether it's been a long session or short. I've done it in very, very small pieces because the board work was getting a little too much. But again, that's also because my board and my resources limitation force it. Otherwise, it can come in one page or half a page of a notebook, all the equations as such. So not too much of a task. Yes, a difficult question also. But I'm trying to show that how finally it's all basic steps only, which is a repeated theme in all our DILR videos. So this is it for this session. See you really soon for the next challenge.